Okay, so I see three people raising their hand. What about the others who are still present here? Okay, so one is Abhishek Kumar, another is Abhishek Anand. So I mean, how many programs have you made correctly?
Sir, I was trying multiplication one using loop.
Yes, sir. I was also trying that one.
Okay, so you're trying, or have you made something already?
Completed, sir.
You have completed. So can one of you share your screen and just show me the completed program? Who wants to share? Abhilash. Sorry, Abhishek.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm making you the presenter, so you may please share your screen. Okay, now you can share your screen and show us your work.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that program is correct, I guess. So it's a simple looping program, right? Where in A and B register you have kept the data, and in C register you have initialized your counter. So, okay. So the input from the user should be the two numbers only. So this counter is a variable which is, I mean, decided from that B register, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So can you make it more automatic by, you know, copying a value of C, copying of some value in C with reference to B? I mean, could you subtract one from B and then put it in the counter so that it will be more automatic? The next time, if you want to put different numbers, you don't have to change C.
Please repeat again, sir.
I mean, if you want to change these numbers A and B, right? So the result will be different.
Yes, sir.
But then again, every time you change the input numbers in A and B registers, you also have to change the contents of C for proper running of the loop, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So could you make that automatic by, instead of writing manually the value in C, can you put a value which is in register B minus 1 into C so that the process becomes automatic?
No, sir. I have stored two number in B and C.
Okay.
For example, I have to multiply into 5 and I have stored 6 in B and 5 in C.
Your voice is not clear. Please.
My loop will be run.
Your voice is not clear. Your voice is not clear.
So there may be network issue.
And now it is clear. Yeah, please speak on. Explain the program from beginning.
Okay, sir. Sir, I have stored two numbers, 6 and 5 in B and C respectively. And I have to multiply 6 into 5. So since I have to add 6 5 times to multiply 6 into 5.
Okay.
Therefore, I have stored 5 in C so that my loop will run 5 times and add add the value of 6 5 times in A, and finally store the value.
Okay. By the way, so A register you have kept vacant for storing the results of calculation, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is correct. That is okay. Any other program that you have tried today?
No, sir.
Okay. ठीक है Abhishek Kumar. What is your roll number?
Sir, CSC 80.
CSC 80. Abhishek Kumar.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Anyone else who has tried any program? Anyone else? Okay, so I see Amol has raised his hand. So Amol, could you please tell us what you have prepared?
Sir, I have tried the question 2.
What was question 2? I don't remember.
Sir, it was add two 16-bit numbers.
Okay, so have you got correct results?
Sir, actually, means the idea behind my solution was to store the lower bit of first number in A register and lower bit of second number in B register, and then add them and store it somewhere else, and then again loading the A register with higher bit of first number, and then moving it to B, and then loading the A register with higher bit of second number and adding them and storing it in somewhere else. So
but then, is this the complete idea?
Yes.
But have you made some code?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please share your screen. I am making you the presenter, so you can share your screen. Yeah, could you enlarge your screen? Just press Windows icon on your keyboard and plus icon. Windows and plus together.
Sir, is it visible?
It is visible, but the fonts are very small. Still, I can see it. So no issues. You explain what you have done here.
Sir, first I have load the register A with a memory location from 0001H, and then move the data in B register. Okay. And after that, I have again loaded the data into A register from the location 00303H. And then I have added the content of B register to the A register. And then I have stored the result in the from the A register into the location 0008H. So this was the calculation for lower bit of the 16-bit number. Okay. Means lower 8 bits. Then after that, I have again loaded the A register from the location 0002H and moved the data into B register. And after that, I have again loaded the A register from the location 0004H and added. I have done the addition with carry with B register. And after that, I have stored the result in the 0009H location. So my final result is in the location 0008H and 9H.
Okay, that is true, but do you think that if there is a carry from lower order byte to the higher order byte that is not being taken care of? Because it could also happen that a carry could be generated from lower order byte and could be transferred to the higher order byte.
Yes, sir. That is why I was trying to use ADC command instead of simply add command.
Okay. But so have you used the ADC command?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ADC B. Okay,
Yes.
okay, that's very nice. So you have explored this command on yourself and found out that this can be done through ADC command. Very nice. Okay. What's your name, roll number?
IT 61, sir.
IT61 and your name is Anmol.
Anmol, Anmol Pansari.
Okay, Anmol Bansari. ठीक है. So this 16-bit addition, for that you can also explore one more command which is called as DAD. So try this DAD command and you will find that it will also help in that, right? Okay. Anyone else who has tried programs?
Sir, I have written first program, that is multiplication, but that was quite similar with Abhishek Kumar. And instead of passing the immediate value, I have stored the value in the external memory and loaded it in the accumulator, and after that moved. But
Okay, so could
that
you
was
share
quite
your
simple.
code with us?
No, sir, that time I forgot to save, and I am not able to find that one.
Okay, okay, no problem. Okay, so I also gave one lecture to all of you to see the last portion of that, where I have explained some functions, etc., how to create functions in 8085. So how many of you have read it, seen it? Please raise your hands. Only 2 people? 4? Let me see who has read it. So there are only 8 people who have read that. And what were the rest of the people doing? See, the point is, this subject is highly dedicated subject. I mean, it will require you to practice every simple thing that I am telling, because as we progress in this course, things will become more and more complex. Not complicated, but complex. And by complex, I mean there will be a lot of small things that will add up to a big program later, right? You will be able to develop an operating system at the end of this course, or probably after the completion of one of the microprocessors. So if you want to achieve that level of understanding of this particular subject, which I believe is very important for your career, you should be doing what I have said, because if you miss any of the things, then things will be out of the hand and you will be just learning this subject for passing the subject. And that's not the purpose of making an engineer, right? So if I have given you some work, so you should have done it. All of you should have done it, because I was extremely busy in an urgent meeting which couldn't be avoided. It was with director and there was some important confidential discussion that had to happen. So that's why I could not attend this lab. But since I had given you that work, you should have completed that. No issues, but we still have some time left. So let's talk some general things, because as I guess from the people who are present in this currently, only 33 people are attending. So there is no point of teaching something new. So if you have some general thing to discuss, we might spend some time over that, because we will hardly get time to speak like this in the course, because the course is huge and I have to cover a lot of content. So you are in this, which semester? Semester number 5, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
You have attended college offline for how much time? 1 semester or 2 semesters?
Sir, 1 semester.
1 semester. That
1.5.
means 1.5 probably. Okay. So okay. I mean, your college life is entirely getting spent at your home, etc. Right? So.
Yes, sir.
I know that you must be feeling that colleges should be open soon, right?
Yes, sir.
It will be, because Bhopal is in very good condition as per the corona statistics is concerned. And all of us, I mean, we are eager to meet our students, but let the government rules and regulations be so, because they have already opened schools and there is a good response. So let us see when they will open these colleges. So students will come to here. Okay, then Also tell me which subjects are you liking most in your entire curriculum of CS and IT? Not in terms of teaching learning process, as I mean personal liking about a subject, that I like this subject and I want to do this and that. What subjects are popular amongst you? Programming based subjects?
Yes, sir.
Programming.
So what programming languages have you learned by now?
C++.
So C, C++, Java, Python.
Okay, so you know
Python.
C, C++, Java, and Python. All of these languages.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We had it in our course.
Okay,
These
so
languages.
in Python, what have you learned? I mean, up to what level have you gone? What was the course about? The basics of Python or some application based?
Yes, sir. Only basics.
Basic of Python.
Okay, basics
Yes.
of Python. Okay. And can you name some packages that you have used in Python?
So NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib.
NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib. Okay, have you used SciPy? SciPy
So
package.
PyCharm.
No, PyCharm is the interface which is used for Python.
Yes, sir.
IDE, right? But SciPy is a package. So like NumPy, it is also a package for making some scientific computations. So have you used SciPy?
No, sir.
So we have studied about it,
No,
but
sir.
not used.
Okay. So in case you want a course which I have designed for, biometric signal recognition, I mean, it's a course based on image processing, digital image processing. And there I have talked about how to deal with your fingerprints and your face images and your iris data. So how based on that we are able to recognize a particular person. And then I had recorded that particular course, I mean 34 lectures of that course completely in Python. So if you are willing to have that course for free, I am ready to give it to you, because that I have recorded for people of our organization and your organization. So in case somebody wants to do project in that, do let me know over WhatsApp. So I will give you a link. From there you can download all the videos, and it is self-explanatory, so you can practice it. And there I have taught some portion of machine learning as well as some image processing and dealing with these biometric signals. So that is also pre-recorded lecture. Similarly, this course that I am teaching, microprocessors and microcontrollers, it is also already pre-recorded. I mean, for today's lecture, when I was not there, so I gave you a pre-recorded video, and you might find some familiarity between the video that I have given you and the last lecture that has happened, because ultimately the syllabus goes on in small chunks and we have to cover some particular topics. So when we take course for one time and the next time, some topics might be here and there in 1 or 2 lectures, but most of the times the flow remains the same. So this course that I am teaching to you is again already pre-recorded. So if you want to learn it at a faster pace, then I also have pre-recorded videos with programming examples. So that also can be given to you. So I made it because I knew that in pandemic time, not everybody is available at their desk for reading, right? At the time when classes are going on. So if you want to read it at your pace, we have pre-recorded videos also, which can be supplied to you. But then that does not make it a point that you can miss the classes. You have to be there in classes because the courses will be upgraded by 10%, right? So that will be there. And so your internships might be started, right? Interviews for internships, etc.
No, sir, on campus are getting started from day after tomorrow.
Okay, from day after tomorrow. So you will be busy in that also. How do you find this programming of microprocessor? Is it easy or is it tough? Or is it useful or useless for you?
Sir, it seems to be a bit tough because I mean the programming languages C, C++ are quite advanced. So here you have to see accumulator in each case, like everything by default it is set in accumulator. That is a bit difficult to handle.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult to handle because we are working closely with machine. I mean, you already know what is the programming model. So these are the resources under which you have to manage your problem. And ultimately C or C++ at the back end, I mean, if you see after the assembly of the, I mean, a code is first compiled and then assembled and then converted to object file and then converted to its binary file. You must be aware of this process, right? So
Yes.
If you try to write codes in higher language, they are machine independent. I mean, a code which is written for 8085 microprocessor will also work on other microprocessors without any changes. But this assembly programming is particularly important because if you want to work with real hardware manufacturers, they actually work with small processors which have their own language, and somebody should be there to communicate with those processors in their own language by reading it, right? So that is why this assembly language is very important in a field where hardware and software are integrated, right? And in this assembly language, you will also be able to develop operating systems, as I told you that at the end of this course, we will be doing that. And as soon as we progress in terms of processors, that is, we move on from 8085 to 8086, the problem that you have stated that accumulator is involved in almost everything will be removed. There you will see that the results can be stored almost anywhere you want. A will not be responsible for most of the operations. So that problem will be lifted. But to begin with, we have started from 8085.
Sir, we have studied 8086 in last semester.
Yes, in our previous semester.
You have studied 8086?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh my God,
Architecture, in that lab, we used to study like programming in 8086.
So you have done that programming already?
Emulator. Yes, sir.
Yes,
EM
sir. In the
EMU?
course
Yes,
computer
in the lab
organization
sessions.
architecture.
Okay, so EMU 8086 you have used and programmed things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, I was not
Yes,
aware
sir.
of
Yes,
this. So what kind of programs have you made there?
Basic levels.
Sir,
So
these
like
programs
addition, multiplication, division, factorial, then
Okay.
reversing a
taking input from
We have
user.
used
using
macros
stack.
also.
You have used macros
Yes,
also.
macros
Okay.
and procedure
So
also.
Input
Uh,
from the user.
procedures, macros, stacks, interrupts I've studied.
so you are aware of what interrupt vector table is, etc. You are aware of what interrupt vector table is and how is it there in hardware in
No, sir,
8086?
not table, but we have studied taking input from user and
I mean, inside that emulator, you have taken some input from users, so a black screen
Yes, sir.
flashes, and then you
Yes,
take
sir. Yes, sir.
interactively the inputs, etc. So menu-driven programs you must have made, some menu-driven programs.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So from the architecture point of view for 8086, you must have studied minimum mode, maximum mode, and coupling of this microprocessor with other devices
No,
like
sir, we
825.
haven't studied the architecture. We have just done the programs.
Okay, you have just done the
Yes,
programs
sir.
only.
Basic concepts.
So it
Yes,
was
sir.
a bit superficial. We didn't go in depth.
Okay, okay. I mean, you have some idea, so that would be a plus point for us because this course will be an in-depth course for 8086. Here you will understand each and everything. Everything will be in your excessive control, be it from hardware perspective or from the perspective of software. So we will also make some small programs to begin with in 8086, but those programs will be more advanced later on. So I will do one thing. I will share that complete recording of 8086 with you people, so that you can see it and tell me which portions are already known to you. And I will just teach them, I mean, from an overview point of view, and I will take you much deeper into that processor. So will that be okay with all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So do you find this course a repetition? Because I thought that this is a new course, so I was going slow. You might be finding these things very repetitive, right?
No, sir, because last time we didn't got this much to listen. I mean,
Did you got this much to listen? Means lectures were there, na?
Yes, sir, lectures were there, but we didn't get in this much depth, na, so
Okay,
we didn't
okay.
understood.
Okay, so that's not a problem. We will study everything in depth, and you can always tell me when things are very easy for you, so that I can increase some level, or I can maybe fasten that portion so that we can move on to some other topics. Currently, the pace is okay. The pace at which classes are going. I am slowly
Yes, sir.
teaching you some small programs,
Yes,
and slowly you will see that you will be starting to build something big and something, I mean, good. So that is the aim of this particular course. And what else do you want? Any kind of changes in this course, the way I am teaching? Because I became aware today that you had an acquaintance with 8086 already.
sir, if we can get some notes or something like that.
Oh, I have already given it to you. To your CR, I have given some books, and I have my video notes. If you want my pre-recorded course, I will give it to all of you, so you can read it at your own pace.
Sir, book becomes a larger amount of resource.
Yeah, I
Read
understand.
the
So
whole book.
yeah, I understand. So, like in the current lectures, what we are doing is we are recording these live lectures and they are already available to
Yes,
you.
sir.
But in the previous semester, what I did was I pre-recorded all of my videos without any student interaction. So they are like a video textbook. So in just 30 minutes or 1 hour, you will be able to complete one topic. And you can run it at 1.5x speed. So accordingly, it will be shortened and you can just scroll back wherever you want to. So
Yes,
if you
sir.
want that, I can give you that pre-recorded course for your reference, but that does not mean that you can miss the
Yes, sir.
classes, right? So you can read it at 2 o'clock in the night or whenever you want, because those videos will be available to you. So will that be a good idea?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll
Yes, sir.
upload that set of videos today, and you can read it at your own pace. Yeah, Abhishek, you want to say something? You have raised your hand.
No, sir.
Okay, okay. So anything else you want to share or discuss?
So, like we are discussing in the lectures, so shall we write those definitions that we are discussing? Will it be fine?
Definitions means I haven't told you any definition as such.
So, like the concepts, if we are asked about to write in brief in our mini test or
Oh, I mean, you're talking about these
present the
precise,
answer.
yeah, to present the answer. How will you
Yeah.
present the answer in your question paper? So my paper will be not a paper which will ask direct definitions. Like you won't have questions like describe the architecture of 8085. No, it won't be like that. The questions will be of such nature. I can ask a question like this. In the architecture part, which portion is responsible for making the whole circuit intelligent? So you will name that block. You will have an access to that architecture. You can see that architecture, identify that component, write the name of that component. Which is that component? We have studied it in the morning.
Instruction decoder and machine learning.
Yeah, very nice. That is instruction decoder and machine encoding circuit, which is responsible for making the entire circuit intelligent. I mean, with input and output, you can modulate the way which part of the circuit will be on and off or functional or dysfunctional. So you just have to mention this, and you have to mention it is because of this and this reason. So even if the question carries 10 marks, but you have explained everything technically correct in just one line, you are going to get full 10 marks. So remember, it's a technical subject and it's a technical paper. Even if the question is of 10 marks, you don't need to write it for 2 full pages. All you have to do is whatever has been asked, you have to pinpointedly answer that, right? The example that I gave you is simple, that which is the component which is responsible for making the circuit intelligent. So the one word answer could be that instruction decoder and machine encoding unit is responsible, and that is and it is because of the reason that it decodes the instructions which are fetched from memory, and accordingly it sets or resets various portions in the circuit to accomplish certain tasks. So in these two lines you will be getting full marks. So direct definitions won't be asked because in technical subjects there are no direct definitions, and even if they are there, I am not interested to ask you those definitions. What I am interested in is, through this subject, have you been able to develop some art in yourself so that given a problem, you will be able to solve it by using this microprocessor. If I give you the actual microprocessor IC, will you be able to design a circuit for me that accomplishes some task? Right? So questions will be easy. If you have read the subject, you will be able to answer it in 1 or 2 lines. Right? So no direct definitions will be there. How? Yeah. So Parul, you were saying something?
No, sir.
Okay, so I will also put a sample question paper that I had taken in previous semester, so you will get an idea of how the paper will look like.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah. So don't worry about the subject and evaluation. Focus on learning something, because the major problem with engineers today in this country is they have mark sheets with good grades. Suppose somebody has got a mark sheet with 90% in C programming, right? And if I ask them deeper questions, they won't be able to answer. So passing an examination is okay, but when you go to companies, they have an interview. Why do they have an interview? Because they do not trust your mark sheet. So whatever marks you have got in whatever subject, for example, you have got 90% marks in C and C++, they will try to verify whether the candidate is good enough that he has been graded as 90%. And if not, then okay, let me accordingly decrease or increase their salaries. So the biggest problem with engineers today is they only chase these marks in examinations, which I understand is important process, because there is some minimum cutoff which you have to be able to appear in that company. But if you know everything, then that clearing that cutoff becomes trivial. So my whole sole aim is to teach you something so that you will be able to solve or make small circuits in your home itself by using any microprocessor which is available. So there are some cheaper microprocessors which are available, or microcontrollers which are available, which you can use and try to solve your problem, right? So that is the whole sole aim. Don't worry about the evaluation process, etc. If you read all of the lectures that I am giving to you, it will be very easy process, right? Because I don't think that there is anything which is rocket science in this subject. There are some concepts. There is a piece of information which I give you, and you just take that piece of information and practice it. There is nothing like applying your mind and solving something in this subject, right? So don't worry about the evaluation process.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Anything else that you want to add up? Or am I teaching, I mean, too much content in one lecture? Because I have seen some lectures where faculties are teaching for some time and sometime they are free. So is the content covered in one lecture too much, or is it good enough?
No, sir, it is good enough.
Yeah, because you are CS people, so I thought that this programming will not be a burden for you. When I teach this in ECE, they feel like, oh my God, you have taught too much and it's a new programming language, so people there panic. But since you are CS and IT people, so programming is very easy for you, right? So, okay, for this lab, I was not available, but the problem was not the problem. It was a procedure that I had to meet director for some urgent work. So we'll continue from the next session, and don't worry, whatever we have missed in today's lab will be perfectly covered in the coming sessions, right? Anyway, it was the starting of course, so there was not much to do. I would have only told you to make those programs and helped you throughout this process. So try to make those programs, and when we meet in the next laboratory, we will discuss those programs again, and then we will proceed forward, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so for today I'm downloading the attendance, but I don't think that I will be counting this attendance. I'll be giving it to all. Attendance to all will be given because even I was not available. Okay, so I'm closing the meeting, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.